Hello and welcome to the United Stand. We're live, we're back in the half-8 slot. Long story, let's move on. And we're here to talk about Jose Mourinho's top 5 Manchester United transfer targets this summer. A big show. We did it last summer and I don't even want to look back on it, what I did last summer. I don't think I got any out of the 5 right. So we've got to improve on it. We set the task on Twitter this morning. So you can drop this in the comments. You can't do it if you're live because it won't stay there. But if you're not watching live, do put your top 5 in there because we are going to give a brand new Manchester United home shirt away on September the 1st. And the person who's got the most transfers right will get it. I'll be amazed if someone gets 5 out of 5. I'm hoping I'll get 2 out of 5. I'll be happy with that this year. I've got to focus the mind on it. I think last year was a bit haphazard and it was Mourinho's first season. I got Zlatan, but I think I was going off with... I did put a player in there that's in there tonight, actually. But, yeah... Jose Rodriguez was in there, funnily enough, last summer as well. But he's not in there this year. So, yes, let's fly into it then. Obviously want your thoughts along the way. I'm aiming to get 2 out of 5. Any better than that would be fantastic. Also, going to use something that will help us. Because I'm always asked by a lot of you, where do you get a lot of your information from when you're researching players? Well, it's not really... I know a lot of footballers anyway, personally. We have drinks together. No. I know a lot of footballers because I watch them. But offhand... I don't necessarily know who all of them are in relation to their height, their age and things like that. So there's an app that I use, which we've linked up with them for the summer, which is absolutely fantastic. It's called the One Football app. It's a free download on Android and I think it's on iTunes as well. Link is in the video description. And I'm going to interact with that just to show you the sort of information that I get when I'm looking to get where I want to get the information from. So without further ado, my first, who I think... 5th in the top 5, we'll get there. Live TV, we'll get there. John Cowig has just said 5 players to win the league: Morata, Costa, Sanchez, Fabinho, Lindelof. It's as simple as that, really. Well, let's see how John fits in with mine. In at number 5, and I'm doing these out of the order, I think, not necessarily the order we'll sign them in, but he's just in at number 5. Victor Lindelof, Benfica, 22 years of age. Very, very nailed on by many. I absolutely refuse to say it's a done deal, even though people are telling me 99% that he's going to be joining Manchester United. As a centre-back, very, very good. Really do like him. I think he's got those attributes that we would want in a striker, for sure. And a striker in a centre-back. And I do like him. I think that we needed somebody with a bit of tenacity. He is physical. He is 6'2". He is good in the air. He's young enough for Mourinho to mould him, which is very, very important. And yeah, in at number 5, Victor Lindelof. And to be honest with you, out of all the centre backs we've been linked about with, whether he's talking about Michael Keane, who I just don't think is good enough, or Varane, who I just can't see why in a million years he'd want to leave a Real Madrid side that's going for a hat-trick of Champions Leagues. He's their most stable centre-back in the Real Madrid team. And I know we want to be better than Real Madrid and we enjoy the fact that De Gea is probably going to stay and we beat them to Pogba. But on the pitch, we're not near Real Madrid at the moment. So that's where we need to move on. Right, this is the One Football app. I just want to bring this in at this point because it will be useful. So you get Manchester United news on there. You get transfer news on there. So... I don't know what I've just done there. Let me get back. So Manchester United, Real Madrid and Manchester United hoping to sort out a major deal this week. Man United fans react to news of 60 million Alvaro bid. Bellotti. You can get all your news on there, which is very, very good. But what I want to do, and what is useful, is... let me just type him in. Here he is at the bottom, look. Victor Lindelof. So let's get Victor Lindelof up on screen. Obviously plays for Benfica and Sweden. He's 22 years of age and he is 187 centimetres tall with 80 kilograms weight. But the info I want is at Benfica. Let's get some of his stats up here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. It's not info. So yeah, he's 22. He'll be 23 in July. Obviously plays for Sweden, as we know. And the season for him, that's what I wanted. So that's the Champions League. We don't want that. Let's go for his League of Portugal. So you've got things like pass accuracy, 94.44%, tackles won, look at that. Tackles 18, duels 197, duels won 56%, aerial duels won 59%, which that's what I'm interested in. I'm not a stat man, but there are certain stats that I look at, and I think aerial duels won is very important when it comes to United, because we need somebody who is good in the air, good centre-back, and yeah, I do like the look of him, and I do like what he can bring. And as everybody keeps saying, I think this deal may well be a deal that can be done relatively soon next week after the international break. The next one I want to talk about in at number 4 is Fabinho. Fabinho, again, a player that apparently is Manchester United. I mean, if you want to believe about De Gea not going to Real Madrid, that was from Spanish AS, I think, or Marca, one of the two, but they're pretty similar. And one of them, this is something I had not heard of at all. This was reported that Manchester United have made great strides in the move for Fabinho this last couple of weeks. Atletico Madrid were apparently in for him. Now, we've not heard about Atletico Madrid. We've heard about Manchester City, and we've heard about Juventus. But apparently Atletico Madrid were in for Fabinho, but they can't get him because obviously the transfer ban, and that's allowed Manchester United to move forward and get hold of Fabinho. As David says, I love Fabinho, so do I. He would be the midfielder I would take from Monaco if we can get him. It's well documented, I've said it so many times, that he can play right back, he can play centre defensive midfield, he can play centre back as a push. But what I like about Fabinho is he is tall at 6'2", but he's not muscly and carrying a lot of weight. He's, Bakayoko's quite a big muscly character, and he's a bit slow around the ground. Fabinho, he's lean but strong. He's good at carrying the ball. He's good at passing the ball, and he's got some good mobility about him. And he likes to put his foot in. So I do like Fabinho a lot, and he would be my number 4 in my top 5. And let me just let me feed a little bit of information in for you as well, just to give you a little bit more about Fabinho. Let me have a look. Okay, so let's go back from Lindelof, and I'll bring in Fabinho, who I've looked at before. I knew I had. So Fabinho, he is 23, and he is obviously of Brazilian origin, and he is currently playing as a midfielder for Monaco, as we know. So let's have a look at his info, and his season so far. 1 goal, 3 assists, pass accuracy of 85%, which isn't bad. Tackles won, 73%, that's very good. Duels won, 57%. Aerial duels don't really matter. But yeah, I'd definitely be looking at the tackles won, 73% of his tackles won, and 85% of his pass accuracy. That's in the Champions League. If we throw it into the Coupe de France, which is a bit of a pub league, but his pass accuracy goes up to 90%. Duels won actually drops down to 52%, but that's tackles won 67%. So that's what you're going to get with Fabinho. And did I tell you how old he is? Yeah, 23. So he's not 24 until October either. So yeah, definitely a player that I would be interested in. And at 6'2", somebody that we would add some height into the midfield that would make us less and less reliant on Fellaini, which would be a good thing. In at number 3, I'm just going to remember how I put these in, what order I put them in. Yeah, Alvaro Morata in at number 3. Now, this is a deal that Manchester United are adamant that they want to do. Interestingly, that Real Madrid last night said they want £78 million for him. I think that's a hell of a lot, but £100 million for Lukaku. 130 million they're talking about for Mbappe. I just wonder where it's going to end for football. It really is concerning, really concerning that that's so much. I mean, what are you earning? I mean, it's a private question. What am I earning? Some of these footballers are earning in like a couple of hours what we're earning in a year. £130 million for a footballer to play just shows you how much money there is in football, and it's only going to increase. Ridiculous amounts of money, and I really wouldn't have thought that we would be looking at spending £78 million on Morata. I think he's a £40 million striker in a proper market, but it's going to go a little bit silly, as I've said. So I like Morata. He's got a lot about him, and I think for those who don't know a lot about him, you're going to see some interesting stats around him in a moment. But Mourinho likes him. Mourinho debuted him at Real Madrid as a young lad. Juventus fans love him because he was good there. He's played with Pogba before, which is another thing. But the reality is Mourinho wants him because Mourinho knows a lot about him. And I've been, there's people I get on with quite well on Twitter who've been quite derogatory about Morata, which, I don't take it personally. I still like those people. I have my own dislikes of certain players that they like. So, I love the fact that everyone has their different opinions. But I actually like Morata. I'd like us to sign him, and I'd be quite confident about it. I think the only thing that will be the problem, because you'll have to prove the proof is in the pudding. It's not in the summer. Look at us last summer: Pogba, Zlatan, Mkhitaryan. Even I started saying maybe we can win the league, and we just got lost in the moment of the excitement of 3 good signings, and we forgot the problems of the squad of the last 3 years that did repeat themselves during the season, and we probably finished where we deserved to finish in the league. So. If Chelsea get Lukaku and Manchester City get Sanchez and we get Morata, then there are going to be people, we are going to get the stick. And I think some United fans will feel quite vulnerable about it. But what I would say is Mourinho knows a lot about this lad. If Mourinho goes and gets Aubameyang, he's never managed him before, and we know Aubameyang's probably going to PSG. If Mourinho goes and gets Lacazette, he doesn't really know much about him. What he knows about Morata is that he had him as a youngster, he gave him his debut. He's had him at Real Madrid. He's seen him go to Juventus and succeed, and Juventus wanted to keep him, and he's got Pogba's experience with him. And then he's seen him go back to Real Madrid again and score goals. So he's got a lot of experience for somebody of a relatively young age. SK, if you don't like it, don't watch it. In fact, bye-bye. And let's have a look, because I think it's going to be quite interesting in relation to Morata, because a lot of you probably are a little bit... How to put this? A little bit put out by the signing, which I don't. Look, everyone's got an opinion, haven't they? And that's the most important thing. But I think when it comes to Morata, I would I'm one of the first people who will be a little bit mouthy about things to a certain extent. But let's get Alvaro Morata up there. So, 24 years of age, obviously plays for Spain. Only just turned 24 in October. I don't know why I thought he was 22. But let's have a look at his season. In the Champions League, if pass accuracy is anything that you're bothered about, I don't know why it would be. But 3 goals and 1 assist in the Champions League. 75% shot accuracy. And he's quite good in the air, look, for a striker. 60%, he's 6'2". But of more interest, that's not bad in the Champions League. But let's have a look at his season away from the Champions League in the Primera division. 15 goals, 4 assists, shot accuracy of 61%, defends from the front, look, tackles 180%, duels 205, aerial duels 47, it just dropped a little bit, but I think he's a decent player. I think he's a decent signing potentially for Manchester United. And does he get many games for Spain? 2 goals, 3 games in 5, 2 goals. He's got quite a good pass accuracy, which is, yeah. You know what? I'll tell you whose pass accuracy isn't great. Lukaku's. That'll be down with about 1%. So if you want Lukaku over Morata, the one thing that he is good at is and again, leading from the front. Tackles 1, aerial duels 1, 75%. So he's a good signing. And my concern about him is I do worry about the fee being played. Anand Nassat made a contribution. He says Liverpool have officially ended their interest in Van Dijk after Southampton complained. I'm aware of that. It's absolutely hilarious. I've been listening to the last few days Liverpool fans telling us how Matip and Van Dijk will be the best centre-back pairing in the season. It's embarrassing when you start doing that before the ink is dry. We had it a little bit with Griezmann, didn't we? But the thing about that thing I would say is that I've never seen a club come out officially and say we're not signing. We're sorry to Southampton Football Club. And we've ended our interest in that player. I've never seen that happen before. And Liverpool clearly wanted to sign that player. And if you look at Van Dijk's Twitter profile, if he's not changed it, he took the Southampton thing off. And he's obviously in a right sulk about it. Which, if you think you've got a move coming, because he clearly was in discussions with Liverpool, he's going to be frustrated. But that deal can't happen now. And my reading of that is that the reason Liverpool have come out and said, we're not interested in anymore is because Southampton, there's obviously been a deal. Liverpool have said we won't sign him if you don't report us to the Premier League. And that's wrong. The Premier League, if that's obvious to me, you and everyone else, then the Premier League, that should be obvious to them. They should still be investigating that, and Liverpool should still get the ban for whatever it is they've done wrong. Because Liverpool have obviously done something wrong if they're saying we're not interested in a player that we really wanted. But that's football for you. We're talking about money, aren't we, and potential levels of corruption, and the Premier League should be stamping all over that. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? Let's have a look what people are saying. Yeah, United in the stand chance. They did it because they might get a ban. Kazim Bellotti is a better prospect than Morata. So, in the top 5 for Mourinho so far, and hopefully I'm going to get at least 2 of these right. We've had Lindelof, we've had Fabinho, we've had Morata, and lo and behold, we've got Bellotti. Bellotti in at number 2. We are going to sign number 9. I think that the more Morata's price gets pushed up, the more the Mourinho will look at Bellotti. However, and I said this last night as well, it's perfect timing. Ranuk Dash has just made a contribution and he says, thanks for that, Ranuk. He said, AC Milan CEO has met Bellotti's representatives. I reckon he's going to Milan and Morata is our last hope. I did say this last night, didn't I? For those who were watching last night, I said, I like Bellotti a lot, but in my experience, strikers who do well in Serie A for lesser clubs end up going to bigger clubs. It's happened loads over the years, and Torino to AC Milan, he's had one good season in Serie A. I'm sure he'd probably like to do it in a better team. AC Milan have got a lot of money, and Serie A over the next 2 to 3 years will become more and more competitive with the money both the Milan clubs have got. They're going to go head to head. There's a massive rivalry. It's like United and City, but they've got loads of money coming in, I think both from China, and they're going to buy up a lot of talent. So Bellotti is probably more likely to go to AC Milan, as I said last night. So that's another one down. I tell you what, the meltdown is going to really, really start to kick in, isn't it? And I think that it sort of does leave us very quickly in a situation where we only have Morata left. And Real Madrid could end up milking us for quite a lot of money when it comes to Morata, because Aubameyang's gone. I don't think we're ever in for him, which is ridiculous. Lukaku looks like he's going to Chelsea. Bellotti looked like he might go to AC Milan. You've got Morata. Griezmann, obviously, we've missed out, although he's not a number 9. The chances are starting to become a little bit limited, aren't they? Anyway, let's have a look at Andrea Bellotti. Remember, I must just say, these stats I'm putting up on the screen, they are from the OneFootball app that I use a lot. The link is in the video description. It's an app that you can download for free. It's got Manchester United news on there, all the latest transfer news, and you can get all your player stats on there. It's what I use. So, Bellotti, 23, plays for Italy, as we know. He was only 23 in December. Let's have a look at his season in general. In Serie A, there it is. He's played 26 games, so 26 goals with 7 assists. Again, not a bad player of holding the ball up. He's played 35 games, and of their 38 games this season, pass accuracy not too bad. Defends from the front, look, tackles won 77%. 577 duels, that's a lot. That really does evidence the fact that he's the number 9 up front on his own. But that's one thing I've always heard about Bellotti, and you notice it a lot when you watch him as well. He did start off as a winger, and he's very good at defending from the front, which from a United point of view would be good. But I don't think Morata's too bad, to be fair. I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's a lot between Morata and Bellotti, so don't get too disappointed about it. Not fantastic in the air, look, 43%. But what I want is shot accuracy, 48%. You'd expect a little bit better than that from a striker, wouldn't you? So maybe we're missing out on a bit. But let's drop down to his goal stats. So he's got 26 goals, 118 minutes per goal. That's not. That's a bit lower than I expected. Shot accuracy, 49%. Right foot goals, 11. Left foot goals, 5. Headed goals, 10. So quite a good balance there. Goals inside the box, though, 25. Goals outside the box, 1. And dribbler, he's quite a good dribbler, 33. Caught offside. And discipline-wise, he's pretty good. 5 yellow cards, not too bad. So, yeah, I'm interested to have a look at the one interesting thing I would look at is in relation to how many, where was it? Successful dribbles, 33. So keep an eye on that one, because the next person I want to talk about, my number 1, is Kylian Mbappe. It's the one thing I nearly mentioned then when people were getting a little bit frustrated about the Bellotti thing, and we seem to be missing out on all our targets. Norman Adamo has said, can you look at Lukaku's stats? Let me know if you want me to look at Lukaku's stats while we're here. I don't mind doing this every now and again, you know, because I'm not really a stat man, but I think it is quite interesting, especially in relation to strikers. Mbappe, I still think a lot of things point to Mbappe, and I think when you look around United's summer, if we keep De Gea like it looks like we're going to do, and we sign Lindelof, and we sign Fabinho, and we sign Morata, and we sign Perisic, I would be happy with that summer. You get a good centre-back in Lindelof, you get a good centre defensive midfielder in Fabinho, you get a wide man in Perisic, and you get a good forward in Morata. There is no star in there, there is no big Galactico signing, and we know Woodward and Mourinho to a certain extent likes them, so I wouldn't say we're not going to do it, but if we keep De Gea on top of those four, I'll be very, very happy with it. But I do feel that there is an appetite from Manchester United to do a Galactico, to not literally bend them over or anything like that, but to actually sign a Galactico. And I always go, if you follow Di Marzio and you follow him in real depth, and a couple of other people, it's not just the United stuff they get right. Ricardo Rodriguez, just over the last few days, he's got that spot on. He gets a lot of things right, and he gets a lot of United stuff right. Last season, the season before, amazing consistency. It's almost like 90%, which is ridiculous. Absolutely spot on. And already this summer, he said Griezmann's no longer the priority 2 days before it fell apart. He's been very on the ball with the Morata offer and the £78 million. But what he has consistently said over the last 3 months, in fact it was about 2 months ago, Mourinho's obsession with Mbappe. And a couple of weeks later, Mbappe again. And last week, Mbappe is the priority. Now, I think a lot of us just feel we're not going to get Mbappe, especially because Hazard's just broke his ankle, so Real Madrid are going to go all out for Mbappe. But don't be surprised if we do. I think we're in for him. It's whether we can do the deal or not. And the fact that Di Marzio keeps mentioning him, the fact that Mourinho was in Monaco a couple of weeks ago for a day, I think we're in for him. And if we get him, I'm not really bothered how much we spend on him, because I know that a lot of other people want him. Super chats, let's have a look. Super chat from Abhiraj Chakrabarti. He says, what about Royce? No one seems to be interested in him anymore. My five would be Morata, Lindelof, Bakayoko, Perisic, and Mbappe. So not too different to mine. So in at number one, we've had Lindelof, we've had Fabinho, we've had Morata, we've had Bellotti, and I'm putting Mbappe in there. I was tempted to put Perisic in there, but I thought I'd hedge my bets, because I think we will sign one of Bellotti, Mbappe, and Morata. So that'd be one for me. We might get Mbappe as well, so that'd be two. And I'm pretty sure that Lindelof and Fabinho are quite good. So I'm going for a 3 out of 5 this year. So it's going to be interesting what you lot go with. But let's have a look at Mbappe, and we will have a look at Lukaku just for the laugh as well. I mean, it'd be quite funny. General election, I'm not a political person, but make sure you vote tomorrow. That's all I would say. I was sulking about not voting, but I am going to vote, and you should vote. I could tell you where to vote, because one of your votes is a wasted vote, by the way. I don't think they'll get in, but no, too political. Right, let's have a quick look. Let's have a look what people are saying. We love you, says somebody. Well, I love you all as well. Do us all a favour. Let me know what you think of trying stuff like this, because I've never been big on big on stats, but I know a lot of you are, and I think it's quite nice to be able to feed in factual things about a player, because I normally just talk about how when their contract's up and things like that, but we can feed in stuff like this, and we're going to have a laugh at Lukaku in a minute. But so Kylian Mbappe, as we know, I mean, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. That's his manager. I don't want to look at that. Absolutely ridiculous. Only just turned 18 in December. So in November, he was 17 years old halfway through last season. A fantastic, absolutely fantastic talent. And when you look at his season so far, this is Champions League stats. So he's had 6 goals. He's played in 9 of the 12 games they've played this season. His pass accuracy is very good, 83%. I think you're going to learn something about Mbappe here that many of us probably don't know about him, and that's the other aspects to his game. His shot accuracy is very high. I think if you've got to remember what with Bellotti, it was around 50%. Very, very high that. Obviously, his duels won isn't as high because he's not as strong yet. He's only 18, but he's going to bulk. He's going to get bigger and bigger. His distribution is very good, 83%, as you can see. But let's have a look at his goals. He has a goal every 89 minutes, which is better than Bellotti's. His shot accuracy, as we know, is 73%. 5 goals off his right foot, 1 off his left. and successful dribbles 18. No yellow cards, no red cards. Quite a clean player there. But let's have a look at the Pub League, because that's Champions League. Obviously, most of his season will have been spent in League One. Still very consistent with his shot accuracy, 77%. 29 games of 38 he's played this season. 15 goals, 8 assists, which is great. He's not just a striker. He's won 88% of his tackles, which is pretty good. But as I say, this is the French League. 8 assists, pass accuracy 73%. Shot accuracy again high at 78%. But the one I really wanted to have a look at, successful dribbles 32. So yeah, I like the look of Mbappe, I do. And I just have a funny feeling he might be the one. But just for the laugh, let's have a look at Lukaku. Remember this, for those who are joining us a little late, this is what I'm using on here. I've got my phone mirroring on screen. And let's not click Jordan Lukaku. So I've got my phone mirroring on the screen. This is One Football app. It's free. The link is in the video description. Give it a download. It's got all your transfer news. When the season's open, you can get all your football scores flashing up and that. It's very, very good for it. But it keeps up to date. You can follow United on there. It'll give you all the transfer news. But the thing I really like about it is you can type any player's name in like this and it throws you up all their stats. It's a really good app. I've been using it for a long time and it's great that they've linked in with us. Because I know we've had sort of link-ups with betting companies and that, but it's nice to link up with somebody where you're not having to pay anything. It's a free app and it's a good one. So when you've finished here or while you're here, click the link in the video description and give it a download. So he's 24. He's old Lukaku, probably off to Chelsea. Let's have a look at his season. I know what people want to look at, so let's have a look. So his Premier League stats, he's got 25 goals and 6 assists. His shot accuracy is quite low, look, 63%. His pass accuracy, I'm amazed his pass accuracy is 65%. But there we go. Look, he's had a lot of duels and he doesn't actually win that many for a big bloke. 41%. 42% of his aerial duels won. For a big centre forward, I don't think that's very good at all. Well, we're going to watch what's going to happen. We're going to sign him now. We're slating him because he's off to Chelsea. I'm amazed by his pass accuracy, is 66%, because he's got the first touch of a brick wall. Cross accuracy, 13%. He's not a winger though, is he? Shot accuracy, like I say, 64%, not good. But he has got a good distribution. He is left-footed. He's got 12 goals with his left, 7 with his right. Headed goals 6. He's had a few good dribbles, to be fair, hasn't he? But yeah, interesting about Lukaku. But I don't think we're going to sign him, do you? I really don't. So let me come back to you lot. So there is my top 5. What do you think? Lindelof, Fabinho, Morata, Bellotti, Mbappe. How many do you think I'm going to get? Come on, start typing some numbers in there. How many do you think I'm going to get out of that 5? Lindelof, Fabinho, Morata, Bellotti and Mbappe. I think I'll get 2. I'm hoping I might get 3. I could get 4. I would say at a punt I might get Lindelof, Fabinho, Morata and Mbappe. If I'm lucky, I might get Mbappe, Morata, Lindelof. I think I'll get 2. Yeah, I do. Marcel says you'll get 3 and a lot of people are saying 2. John Menton says 3 out of 5. 2. Who Am I says 0. William Coates says 3. A lot of 2. Somebody said 10. Obviously, they're not. I nearly said somebody else then. But 2. A lot of you saying 2 out of 2. Trigger X3. Danish Syed says 5. Well, that would be interesting if I get 5 out of 5. Because I have played tactical by putting 3 strikers in there. I don't think we'll sign 3 strikers. So I think the most I'm going to get 4. But considering last year I only got 1, which was Latan, I've tactically gone for it a little bit better this time. So yes. Stop giving me your numbers now. We'll move on a little bit. But I just want to say thanks to everybody. It's been a difficult last few days, really. Obviously, we couldn't live stream since Sunday until tonight, which is Wednesday night, because of this. We had a claim from FIFA about one of our videos, and it stopped us live streaming while we were doing it. And essentially, what happened is, I can tell you now, we were doing the Michael Carrick watch along, and at that time on YouTube, there will be a lot of people who are doing. Well, I've got Orison. Don't worry, I won't miss that one. I must read this out. Orison's just made a contribution. He says, The Sun has just reported Mourinho's marriage is on the rocks because of his affair with Fellaini. It did put a smile on my face, and thanks for the contribution. But Anyway, back to the story, because I want to keep you all in the loop. The United Stand is your channel as much as it's ours. It's a community, and I know a few of you were wondering why we couldn't do live and had to go onto my channel. So yeah, we were doing the Carrick watch along on Sunday, which, to be honest, we weren't even going to do one. I think it was a bit of a funny one to do. It was a little bit boring, and we got took down halfway through on air. So what we found out, and it took a bit of time, is that basically we got taken down with a number of other videos because they thought we were live streaming the game, and there were a number of channels who live stream football matches on YouTube, which is totally illegal. So we sort of got caught up in that, and obviously through discussions they've realised that, and there is no claim against us, so we're back up and running. But it was difficult not being able to do it. So thanks for all your support. We were doing really. We were charging towards 100,000. We were hoping to get there for this weekend because we've got something really good planned for you all. A few giveaways, some real special videos. For those who remember Soccerbox and the studio I used to be in there, it wasn't like this. It's coming back. That's going to be a great show. But drop a like on the video. We can't do all this without you. You've been fantastic the last few days in what has been a bit of a challenging circumstances. And we are on the charge to 100,000. We want to get there as soon as possible. We'll get the party started, and you never know, we might have 100,000 when we sign Mbappe, which would be great. But yeah, if you've not subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button in the right hand corner. Tell your mates, tell your friends, and let's try and get there as soon as possible, which would be fantastic, a fantastic journey, and we'll really enjoy it. But transfers is what we're all about. I know that's what you all want to talk about, and I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I think we will do a top 5 United players that we think are going to leave, but I'm happy with that 5 at the moment. I mean, I think what will happen in my experience, and probably your experience as well, we've still got 2 months of the transfer window to go. And if I go back to last year, there were players that in the start of June that we weren't talking about, that we were talking about, and then by July there's other players coming up on the ropes. I mean, I remember people like Irving Lozano. There was a French lad, I forget his name, he went from Bordeaux to somewhere, Draxler, people like that. So there will be people that, you know, sort of come up on the outside, which is why we do the 7 AM transfer show and try to feed some of those in. But I'm comfortable with that. Lindelof, Fabinho, Morata, Bellotti, Mbappe. I'm hoping I can get 3 out of 5 with those. But do drop it if you're not watching live or you want to revisit. Do put yours in the bottom as well. Give us your thoughts on what your 5 would be, and we'll see what we do. We're going to give a United shirt. We're going to give about 4 or 5 United shirts away in August anyway. So, but one of them will be for the person if they get 5 out of 5. If you can get 5 out of 5, you'll definitely win the shirt. So, can anybody do it? Get commenting below. What else did I want to say? Yes, big shout out to the OneFootball app. Link is in the video description. It's in the top paragraph. When you finished here, and if you've got an Android, if you're watching on your phone, or whatever you call it, an iPhone. I'm on Samsung. I've always been on Android. I much prefer it. But download the app and have a little play on it. It's got all the latest United transfer news. And if there's players you just fancy having a look at, which is what I do, there's loads of information there. Like if you want to go and have a look at, I don't know, Bakayoko, what he's like, you know, how many aerial duels he wins and stuff like that. I've got more and more into it. I'm not a big one about how many take-ons in the other person's half or your own half or anything like that, but I think those sort of things are quite interesting. I think aerial duels for a centre-back and a centre-forward are very good because, one, as a centre-back you want somebody who's going to be dominant like Lindelof earlier, and as a forward you want somebody, which surprised me about Lukaku, who when the ball's going up to them they're actually aerial duels. You know, are you holding the ball up? Someone's like Zlatan, we could have had a look at his stats, and I bet his aerial duels, in fact let's just do it. We've got time. I bet Zlatan, you know, I might be setting myself up for a bit of a fall here, but I bet Zlatan's aerial duels, in fact, I should have done Zlatan anyway, because this is what we're replacing. Here he is, old Zlatan. So let's have a look at Zlatan's season. I don't want to do Europa League, let's do Premier League. So he played 28 of 38 games, 17 goals, 5 assists, shot accuracy of 55, which was quite low, which we know it was quite low, wasn't it? His pass accuracy is quite good. Aerial duels won only 51%, so yeah, you know, quite surprising that. I would have thought he would have won more than that. And he won 40% of his duels, so that's my theory out the window then, isn't it? I would have thought he would have won a lot more than that. What else would be of interest? 143 minutes per goal. I thought, you know, that's one every 2 games pretty much, isn't it? 90 minutes. No, one every game and a half. So very, very good. Mbappe's was 1 a game. Right foot goals 11, 2 with his left foot, so he's very right-footed. Goals inside the box 13, but he got 4 outside the box. He got quite a few yellow cards, but yeah, interesting. Yeah, One Football app, link in the video description. Go and have a little play. I'd sometimes spend 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Oh, I sometimes spend 10 minutes on it looking at players. You know what I mean, though. Sometimes I will spend quite a bit of time on it. We got a live comment chat, a super chat from Theo Newby. Thank you for that, Theo. He says, if I was Mourinho, I'd break the bank for Marcelo. Very good left back. I was very impressed. I mean, they both get knocking on a bit, but I think Marcelo and Dani Alves, we were linked with him a couple of years ago. I think he would have been fantastic. I know Valencia's been good, but he would have been fantastic. Baz J says, Mark, any news on the James deal? I've not heard anything on James Rodriguez today. The only thing I saw is Liverpool. And if he goes to Liverpool, I think there's going to be a bit of a meltdown. Look, anyone can go anywhere. I'm a grown-up. I've seen things in football and nothing ever surprises me. So a bit like Bernardo Silva, wasn't it? Good player, goes to City. Alexis Sanchez, probably going to go to City. Would love him at United. You've got to be honest about these things. Fabinho, would love him at United if he goes to City. Again, you've just got to be honest about it. But I'd like to get Rodriguez, but he's not really a winger and he's not that quick, and I think we do need that. So I'd like us to get Perisic. I'd like to get that deal done. I know he wasn't in my top 5, but I just feel with the Perisic deal, there's something going on. There's something going on with it, and I don't know whether it is just hardball from Woodward because he knows they've got to pay 30 million by the end of the month from sales because of the financial fair play, and he's trying to get it down if he is fair play, or is it that Perisic is a bit of a smokescreen and we'll go for somebody else? We definitely need somebody, a winger. We've had another contribution. It's from Ranuk. He says, Martial and Shaw could be new signings for his next season, Mark. Yeah, Martial, Shaw, Mkhitaryan, next season could be like new signings because they've had a mixed season. David De Gea, if he stays, is like a new signing because most of us thought he was going to go. If you were one of those who thought he'd stay, spot on. Absolutely spot on. Comments box is frozen. Thanks, Draughty. Doesn't matter because I'm wrapping up anyway now. What I want to say is please do drop a like on the video. As I said, subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner if you haven't. Let's get on that road to 100,000. We're so close now and we've got loads planned for you when that happens. Obviously transfer shows 8:30 every night, 7 o'clock every morning. Vince Chapman wants me to do Fellaini's stats. I'll tell you what, we'll do Fellaini's stats tomorrow night for you because I can use this every night now. One Football app, link in the video description, download it, you'll really enjoy it, and if you want we can start feeding it in on a more regular basis because I know a lot of you do like it and it is a bit of fun. It is a bit of fun and we'll certainly use it on the top 5 players that can go. But yeah, Vince Chapman, we'll do that. I'll do that because you've contributed. Thanks, Vince. I'll take a note and we'll do it on the show tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching. See you all later. What? I say see you all later. Something might break later and we have done it a couple of times already, so we might be back live 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30. No, it won't be that late. But you never know, 10 o'clock, something could happen. It does tend to happen in the summer every now and again. So now we're back doing live stuff. 7 o'clock every morning, 8:30 every night live, and then whatever happens. I'm starting to feel more excited now. The Griezmann thing brought me down, but I am starting to feel more excited. And I do just feel that as happy as I would be with De Gea staying, Morata, Fabinho, Lindelof, Perisic, I'd be happy with that summer. I'm absolutely convinced there's a big signing. And I just think it's going to be Mbappe. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon. I'll see you soon. I've said that twice. But it's still nice.